We call it FutureBoost, and exactly as you explained it, it's kind of a synthetical yield on your savings. So while you're doing your purchases at one of our more than 600 retail partners now, you are getting financial contributions, so not miles, not points. You're getting real money on your saving goals in order to reach those goals faster. And on average, our users can let their savings grow by around 10% per year. If we look at the average savings of a user, which is way more than you would get on a regular interest-bearing
It's
account.
massive. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk About Tech. It's my pleasure to introduce you today to Martin Granig, founder and CEO of Monkee, a fintech from the far west of Austria. Hello,
Hi.
Martin.
Hi, thanks for having me, Berthold.
It's great to have you from the far, far away from Innsbruck. You made it to Vienna. I hope you had safe travels in the morning.
Yeah, it was really good. 4.5 hours drive was a good way to work.
With the train.
With the train, yeah.
Yeah, very good for the climate, very good for you. As we always start in Let's Talk About Tech, we always want to hear the story behind the entrepreneur. And so this is my first question. What did you do before you founded Monkee, and what inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
Okay, before Monkee, maybe let's start at the beginning. I'm coming from a regular blue-collar worker family. There I learned really to work hard and being passionate. When I finished my technical school at the HTL Innsbruck, I had to serve at the army. And after that, it was clear that I can't go to university, but need to stop working to earn some money first. This is what I did, started working as a project manager at a company called Swarovski. But about half a year later, I already started studying besides my job at the Management Center Innsbruck, and there I studied marketing. And I realized that I was always quite good and a fast learner, good in school. And when I finished university, I then started a second study at the University of Innsbruck, studied business administration. And then I got the chance at the reorganization to take over a large product group at Swarovski. And I was responsible for one of the largest, with regards to turnover, product groups there. And after some years, there has been another reorganization. And I had the chance to take over then the global marketing department and was responsible for segment marketing, market research, trend research. I did that for a few years, and then there was another reorganization, and which then was my final step at Swarovski. And there I was responsible for the global innovations management and portfolio management. And I've been responsible on the one hand side for the, let's say, incremental innovation portfolio, so new products, line extensions, fighter brands. But on the other hand side, also for the Swarovski family members to work on more exploratory projects, which are outside of the existing core business. And this is where I had the chance to work almost like a startup with all its advantages and disadvantages within the large corporate environment. And where I really learned kind of that building something from scratch, from zero, is something that I would really love to do in the next step.
Now, Swarovski is a crystal company, right? And I would assume that going from a company that sells basically sand that turned out to be a crystal in the end towards a fintech is quite a bold move. So how was the transition from such a old family business, right, with a hands-on product, right, over your innovation stream? Was there a lot of digital involvement already? And how did you end up in fintech? And why the idea for a fintech?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the first place, Swarovski is not just a crystal company, it's a premium consumer goods company. So we offered a full range of different consumer products, which, of course, in many cases involved crystal. But for example, one of my larger projects there was it was the time of activity trackers, and it was clear that we as Swarovski, we own a certain real estate on the bodies of our consumers, which is the ankles, the neck, the ears. And if there is other products like Apple Watch or Samsung Watch who are fighting for the same real estate, we also need to have our solution. That's why we also started entering this area of wearables, for example, and have already been working on the next step of wearables, which was not just about tracking steps, but capturing data on how you feel and helping people to improve habits, for example, in order to feel better. And this is where I had the chance to work with other startups, set up startups on the, let's say, on the edge of the corporate world. We have been working on software products like jewelry design products and so on. So I had in this position really a lot of touch points already to the startup world, but also to digital business models.
Right. And I would assume, and I hope this is a right assumption, that most of the clients are female with Swarovski.
Yes, for most of the segments, but we also had a large consumer electronics segment. We had a super yard segment where it was about selling solutions into the yard area or private chats. So there have been a lot of different segments. Most of them have been female dominated, but some of them also male.
Okay, so I was not right, which is okay. So in the end now, Monkee is a fintech. I know you have 80% female clients. Yeah. I always thought your experience with female-oriented products made this possible, right? That you tackle this market this excellent. Can you tell us a little bit what Monkee is, what it does, what drives you at Monkee?
Yeah, the mission behind Monkee is quite simple. So we aim to empower millions of people to reach goals/consumption goals without the burden of debt. So what we are doing with our Save Now, Buy Later solution is trying to establish a sustainable alternative to buy now, pay later and consumer credit. So using gamification and nudging in order to help people to save more for what is important to them, like their vacation, the next smartphone, or a new e-bike. And at the same time, connecting then those consumers with potential retail partners where they can get those things cheaper, or while they are doing their daily purchases, getting financial contributions on their saving goals in order to reach those saving goals faster.
So that's kind of like an alternative to an interest rate. It sounds like a cashback on a purchase.
Exactly.
And so this cashback I do then get into my bank account or on a savings goal. How does that work?
So we call it FutureBoost, and exactly as you explained it, it's kind of a synthetical yield on your savings. So while you're doing your purchases at one of our more than 600 retail partners now, you are getting financial contributions, so not miles, not points. You're getting real money on your saving goals in order to reach those goals faster. And on average, our users can let their savings grow by around 10% per year. If we look at the average savings of a user, which is way more than you would get on a regular interest-bearing
it's massive. Even though the interest rates are back, that's a massive advantage over a standard bank account. Now, the app has been downloaded over 300,000 times. I know the saving goals amount to more than 250 million euros. But you are only a seed stage company. How did you achieve these numbers?
I think, almost like the mission of our company, we are quite frugal when it comes to spending our own money. So this means that from the very beginning, we put a very strong effort on, let's say, growing organically due to content, due to referrals, instead of just paying Meta or Google to kind of by paid acquisition to grow our user base. And of course, we are also doing some paid acquisition in order to boost this organic growth. But whenever we try to grow, we are first thinking about other ways compared to just paying Meta in how to do that. And that's why we spend quite some time in putting together downloadables, really trying to understand our users, how we can get together checklists or whatever, which then are going to be spread on social media, put in different forums in order to increase visibility about Monkee. And then when they kind of sign up to get certain downloadables, we can then also let them know that how else they could save more money. And this is where then Monkee comes into the play.
As a president of European Super Angels Club and one of your really early investors, right? I was super proud when you introduced the Visa card, the credit card that actually enables everybody to also pay on point of sale. This is, I assume, with PSD2 API connected. So everybody paying doesn't even need a bank account directly with you. It's running through their bank account and the savings is just happening in Monkee. Is that right?
Yeah, it works this way. So when you're ordering our Visa direct debit card, we are automatically creating kind of a household account, which can be pre-funded. And then when you are buying things in brick and mortar, you are always getting a small cashback. And if you're buying something at one of our partners, you're getting a much higher cashback. And this is paid back to, again, contribute your saving goals. And this was for us kind of the logical next step in the development or evolution of our FutureBoost, which started in e-commerce to then grow this business model from e-commerce into brick and mortar, because no matter how large e-commerce is, we're still spending quite a large chunk of our kind of for our daily necessities offline.
Yeah, naturally clear. Now, you announced lately that there is a collaboration with the German union banks, Volks and Raiffeisen banks. I looked that up in Google and I saw they have around 20 million customers. How did that collaboration evolve, and what does it mean for Monkee?
Yeah, basically, I saw that this guy, Mr. Magakut, he's of one of those union banks, that he is very active when it comes to collaborating with startup. And I reached out to him and kind of pitched Monkee on LinkedIn. And then he immediately somehow saw that there is a potential for them as well. Because, I mean, they are coming as bank, they are coming from the savings side, but over the last years, they have only been able to really monetize on loans, right? And he saw Monkee as a nice opportunity to go back a little bit to their original mission and giving also their customers a sexy tool to save again. And this is how we started our conversation, and then came to, let's say, to an agreement that we are starting a collaboration with them in order to, on the one hand side, to move our regular banking partner to them in order to also then give interest rates to our users. But in the second step, then also being offered as a co-branded app to their banking customers. And for us, of course, this is an amazing collaboration, because this gives us now access to the big community of the union banks. Of course, we need to do that step by step because they are organized decentralized, right? But we see a huge potential there to grow for us.
Okay, so just to sum this up for me, the additional interest rate that your users will earn on the bank accounts for the debit cards and also for the saving goals, this comes on top of the FutureBoost, right? So it will be exceeding the 10% even.
Exactly.
That's exciting. Explain me one thing. I mean, earning interest rate, right? A fintech, an app, right? Why is it 80% females that are users? Are they smarter because they save first and spend later? Why is that? Or are you specifically targeting this user group?
Honestly speaking, we did not plan to specifically target female users from the very beginning. But already after quite a short period of time, we saw a difference in numbers when it comes to conversion rates, retention rates, how female users are using our app. We are working, for example, at the beginning very strong with the concept of weekly goals. So breaking down your longer term saving goals into weekly challenges. And we saw, for example, that male users, they go into the app on Monday, they save their weekly goal and then don't open the app again the rest of the week. While female users, they open the app on average between 4 and 5 times every week. And we're saving a few euros here, a few euros there. And then at the end, they saved quite a significant amount of money. We also saw that female users are much more engaged when interacting with our retail partners, which is also not a surprise, because in many households, it's still the woman which is responsible for doing kind of the weekly household kind of purchase. And after we realized that, we then, of course, started to also adapt our marketing strategy to more directly target female users.
Okay, so with increased diversity, you will see more male users coming in as well, I assume. Now, with the union banks starting in Germany and knowing that union banks are huge all across Europe, what is your next goal? I mean, obviously, I would assume that growth also implies always venture capital, especially in a B2C-driven business. Given the high numbers you have, I'm quite sure there's a good lineup of investors standing at your doorstep. But which markets do you think are the most interesting after Germany? Are you going to France, or is it Scandinavia, Italy?
Yeah, for us, I mean, within this year, our priority is really getting this project on the ground and doing this together in Germany. But we already did our homework and saw that our use case is also relevant for other countries. And here, specifically, countries more towards Southeast Europe. So, in contrast to maybe other fintechs who very frequently go more towards UK, for example, which is already a really competitive market and also more advanced when it comes to how the regular population is using their money. They are more investing that. So maybe cryptocurrencies play a more important role there. We see that this use case of saving for goals, cashback is much more relevant in Southeast Europe. And this is why in the next step, we plan to do maybe similar things like we're doing in Germany, then also in other countries with a lead bank.
How about Poland?
Yeah, so there are countries like Italy, Poland, Romania who are very high up our list. When it comes to which country is going to be the first country to enter after Germany and Austria, it's also going to be depending on the lead bank, on investors who maybe can give us some access to potential retail partners in this market. So we have our short list and are still flexible when it comes to then really to decide which country is going to be first in the next step.
So it's all on you guys. It's all on the union banks out there. Reach out to Martin, be the first one to implement and partner up Monkee in your local client base. I think there's a great opportunity. It's amazing to see your story grow and grow and grow. I'm very much looking forward also to the talks of any co-investors coming into this. Always great to have you. You guys have enjoyed, hopefully, this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe and tune in for our next episode. Thank you, Martin.
Thanks, Berthold.